Alright, my YouTube family, welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and to put it bluntly, we have a ton of stuff going on in the game right now, my friends. I mean, we have the Hollywood Global event going on in conjunction with the Triple XP event. They just announced yesterday they're going to be adding something to the game called the Season Pass Extension. It's a way to earn a bunch of different rewards, new arm patches, things like that. And remember, this Tuesday, that is when the final Year 6 Season 3 Scout becomes available, which means we will then have a new Mastery Takeover mission to complete. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on. Now, with all that being said, one thing I've been doing here at the channel over the last few weeks is highlighting a few things that you want to make a priority between now and the DLC. And because we do have that mission takeover coming up in a matter of days, I want to highlight a few builds that, in my opinion, you want to have at the ready as we start to get this new stuff. Now, as always, we're going to jump right into the details, and if you happen to enjoy this, do me a favor and hit that like button. It truly helps the channel out. And if you want to stay up to speed on all things Division, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button as well. Now, starting with the specialization, you can see I'm using Gunner. The main reason for that is because I like to use the Banshee Pulse when I'm running with this version of the build. Now, always remember, you can use another specialization if you choose, but always make sure to have the proper weapons activated in that weapon skill tree. That way you're getting a 15% weapon damage bonus regardless of which one you're using. Now, my go-to weapon when it comes to the game right now is St. Elmo's Engine. In my opinion, it is definitely the best assault rifle in the game, and that is because of its talent where shooting an enemy with this weapon will give you 1 stack, and at 100 stacks, the next magazine will be 100% filled with shock ammo. And you look at the mods, you got 15% crit hit damage, 30 extra rounds, 10% weapon handling, and 15% crit hit chance as well. That is what, in my opinion, separates this weapon from other ones out there. Now, if you don't have it, in the meantime, you can use the Chameleon. You do have a few other options, and thankfully, this is in the general loot pool. I recommend hitting up Countdown or the Summit. Set your targeted loot accordingly. Now, moving on to the gear itself, you can see we're running 4 Striker, 1 Fenris, and the Catharsis Mask, which you can see on screen right now. Now, I know for a lot of players, this thing is a bit of a unicorn. You're having a hard time getting it to drop for you, but I promise it is definitely worth a grind because of its talent vicious cycle. Taking damage builds stacks to a cap of 30. Each stack grants 1.5% weapon damage. Taking damage at max stacks triggers a purge, removing all stacks and status effects, and then dropping a healing cloud, which restores 5% of max armor to all allies in the cloud. Next, we have the body armor. It's the 1 piece of Fenris that is going to give us an extra 10% assault rifle damage bonus, and you can see I am using the talent Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 20 times. And one thing you'll notice is on every single piece of gear, I'm stacking crit hit chance and crit hit damage everywhere I can. Now moving on to the holster, the knee pads, the gloves, and the backpack. They are the 4 pieces of the Striker gear set. We're running 4 so we get all of the gear set bonuses. 2 pieces 15% weapon handling, 3 pieces 15% rate of fire, 4 pieces Striker's Gamble. Weapon hits increase total weapon damage by 0.65%, stacking up to 100 times, but because we are wearing the Striker backpack, we do gain access to the talent Risk Management, which is going to increase the amount of weapon damage gained per stack of Striker's Gamble from 0.65% to 0.90%. As far as my skills are concerned, I'm running with one of my favorite combinations in the game, that is the Banshee Pulse and the Assault Drone. However, feel free to use anything else you want. Totally up to you, my friends. When we look at the numbers, you can see I'm sitting at 49% crit hit chance. Remember, the max is 60, and 119.4 crit hit damage. And always remember, those numbers are going to be dependent on not only the gear you have equipped, but having a Shade Watch of level 1000. And as of my recording this, we do have a Triple XP event going on in the game right now. So if you are trying to level up, now is the perfect time to do so. I posted a video talking about my favorite way to farm for XP. I'll leave a link to that in the video description. Now at this point, I'd like to show you another build that happens to be one of my favorite ones to use in the game. What I did was the following. I switched from the Catharsis Mask to Coyote's Mask. This again is one of those must-have exotics in the game. It is in the general loot pool. Wish you the best of luck in regard to farming. This has the talent pack instincts, and that talent is going to give you a crit hit chance and or crit hit damage bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. When you're running in a group, you can have all 3 of those running at the same time if other people are using it as well. And when we take a look at the numbers on this build, you can see once again I'm sitting at 49% crit hit chance, 143.4 crit hit damage, and remember, this is just a template. You know, the last build I showed you was at 1.5 million armor, this is at 1.1. That's why I recommend take your time, make a build your own. Hope this helped you out, my friends, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I'm going to start to wrap this up. However, as always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage and commentary. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Good morning once again, my fellow agents. It is Saturday, May 3rd. I hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. One thing you're going to notice here at the channel when it comes to builds, I'm not going to have any global modifiers running whatsoever because we know with the start of year 7, all that shit is going to change. So I figure now's the time, to highlight things without any of the modifiers running, because depending on when you see this thing, you could wonder what the is going on here. I'm swearing a lot this morning. Very aggressive. I think I need more coffee. Anyway. That's all I got for this portion of the video. I'm going to leave you with a bit of a montage of both builds in action. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you once again for everything, and I'll see you in the next one.
That should keep them from getting more of those mortars.
You think closing the tunnel was smart? Fuck you!
Good work. Go on and head back up. The team from the campus has taken position inside the memorial.
So one thing I failed to mention in that gameplay footage, that was using Coyote's mask. This one is the Catharsis, and you can see in a moment it winds up saving my ass. So I got that going for me, which is good. And this is pretty much my go-to build. Now, one thing I want to point out is I did switch my second talent to the Crusader Shield, and this is usually what I run with when I'm in the open world, especially as a solo player. And once again, let me know in the comment section, what is your go-to build? This is pretty much what I use non-stop in the game right now. It used to be Hunter's Fury Scorpio, but I switched to this build, Force Striker, the Catharsis, Fenris. Love this thing. And as I said earlier, I know for a lot of players out there, for some reason the Catharsis will not drop for you, but I'm telling you, my friends, it is definitely worth the grind. One of the best exotics in the game. Anyway, that is truly it for me this time, and I will see you in the next one.
Supply room access.